We went to a restaurant, we had dinner, and after that, I said, hey, let's go for a drink. And then they went to Siam. But after that, a while, they were like a bit bored, then they went off somewhere else.
Then you stay with the Siambu.
What's the worst thing you could ask a priest? This is your daily catch-up. Hey guys, if you're liking the daily catch-up so far, remember to drop us a sub and like this video. So I found this Quora, this Quora query. I would say someone basically asked, is having a crush on a priest a sin?
Like, sorry daddy, I've been a bad girl.
Is it a sin?
To have a crush is not a sin. The attraction is not wrong. I think.
But if they try to seduce,
yeah, I mean, then when you
pulling up the dress,
you know, it doesn't matter whether it's a priest or not a priest. When you try to seduce somebody, you know.
No, if it's a single man, it's okay, right? If you try and seduce a single man.
Okay, then the priest. Okay, so the priest in the church, is equal to a married person, right? The sacrament of marriage and holy ordinance are the same. Yeah, you know that this person is single for life, right? Will you go do it to a monk? So you know that he's unavailable. Like you say, if he's a single person, it's okay.
Single but unavailable.
Yeah, so we are single and unavailable.
No, so what made you want to become a priest in the first place?
What made me want to become a priest?
But you cannot preach,
Cannot preach.
We want your story.
The story. Mine really was I would guess a conversion. When I was a young boy, my parish priest died. I stole his rosary. You know, okay, I didn't steal that.
This story just went down so quickly.
It's theft.
Yeah, so no, it wasn't really theft because he died, right? And
so it was murder.
All the two rapes.
No murder. Yeah. So I was helping the assistant priest to clear my parish priest's office, right? All his things were there. And there was this huge rosary. I was primary school and this rosary was almost my height. And I saw it.
Rosary is what?
A rosary,
like
it's the beads that Catholics use to pray.
Right. So huge beads.
Yeah.
Okay.
So normally not so huge, but this one was really huge. And I was so fascinated by it, right? And I mean, the priest has died. He has no more use for it, right? We're trying to clear his room.
Sure.
So I said to the assistant priest, I said, Father, can I have this? Right? And he said, yeah, you can have it. So I took it. Then he added, you take it, you have to become a priest. I put it back. But quietly, the temptation was there, so I just took it and I brought it home.
Right.
Then when my mom found out, then there was this running joke in my family, oh, you're going to become a priest. Yeah, and so there was this thing about me being a priest, but after a while, I said, no, I don't think I can be a priest. My priest, right, my assistant priest, the one who told me about the rosary, he shared his vocation story and how God called him. And I said, God called, but God never called me. So, okay lah. Then,
so I said, changed phone number, that's why.
Because you primary school at the time,
primary school lah.
No phone at the time.
So no call, yeah. So that was it.
Why you're dumbing down your jokes?
Sorry.
Life went on, went secondary school, then discovered girls and...
Discovered girls?
Tell us about the discovery.
Discovery, yeah.
He's like behaving like his son,
How normal guys discover, you go through puberty, the hormones and...
Discovery of girls,
yeah.
like magazines.
No, relationships lah.
Yeah.
Right?
So you dated in secondary school?
No, I only dated when I was in poly. Yeah. I went through a crisis. I didn't know whether God really existed, right? So this whole question about, is it just a morality? Is it just society or what they say, is the opium of the people? And so was God real? That was a question that I had to go through. And so the short story is I went on this journey. I challenged God a bit. I challenged God to reveal himself to me. I gave him 1 year. And
the audacity to give him a timeline.
Yeah. I said, if after 1 year, nothing happens, I will go out. And this was because of a car bumper sticker that I saw.
I love Jesus.
No. one day I was walking out of church, right, with this thing. Why am I here? Why am I wasting my time? and I saw this car bumper sticker, and this car, I've never seen it again after. It said, if you're going to live life as if there is no God, you better be damn sure. Then I'm like, okay.
I feel like I've seen that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That person that put that bumper sticker made such an impact
Yes,
on
yeah.
someone else's life. Like, wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
So for me, I was like, okay, it really spoke to me at that point in time. If I'm going to leave the church, I better be sure that there is no God first before I leave.
Right.
Right? And that's where I decided, I turned back, I went to the prayer room and I challenged God. I said, I give you 1 year. After 1 year, if I still don't have any experience, I'm going to walk out. And basically, yeah, I fell in love with God, started to ask this question. So what do you want of me? In the Catholic Church, we have this thing called vocation, a call.
Hey, you know, I kena before, like the like so serendipitous, right? Like you looking for a sign and kena sign. So like I
What is
remember
serendipitous?
like coincidence but happy.
Okay.
I was in Sec 1 right, and I was like, I had a crush on 2 girls. You know, I was the kind, right, from primary 1 to primary, like Sec 3, right, if I like a girl, I pray every night that God will make her like me
Creepy,
back. Then creepy.
So poor thing,
Then
so
creepy.
sad. I mean,
Very
I wish I was
sad.
your friend
Girl got
after
no
you
choice.
died.
And then I was like, God, give me a sign. And then the day after I prayed for give me a sign on which girl I should go for, right, a song came on and her name...
Baby. Oh, sorry, wrong song.
No, so like...
Can you guess the song though?
Yeah. It's a very popular song.
Chloe.
No.
Hey, Maria.
Jenny.
No. Older.
I think
Oh,
I'm not
Carol?
born yet at that point.
Newer than that.
Carol, no, don't go for Carol. Carol's old. She's 42, dude.
Sounds like what was his name? It was come on Eileen. Oh, her name was
Oh,
Eileen.
dude, that's rather old.
Yeah.
I also don't know.
I never heard this song.
Eileen.
Come on
Eileen.
How's
Eileen.
that a name?
So I thought, oh my God, this is a sign. Oh my God, this is a sign. So then I said, okay, I need another sign. And then I knew that she supported Liverpool. I supported Liverpool. And then that weekend, right, Liverpool were playing West Ham. And then it was the FA Cup final. West Ham was leading, right? And I was like, God, give me a sign. Is this it? And then Liverpool came back in the last minute. And Liverpool won the FA Cup, right? I was like, I gotta tell
You're
her,
gonna link everything together.
this is it. And so I told her,
You're a Liverpool fan, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so then I was like, this is it. So I confessed my feelings for her, right? Thinking like this is gonna be it, right? And she said no.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Eileen is 42, dude. She's like, Dan, you're too young.
You never asked her to pray for the sign, that's why.
Yeah.
You should have told her to pray for the
That's
sign.
true. Very sad.
Any questions you all have for a priest? Your first time meeting a priest? Actually, I asked a lot of questions already.
No, so when did the celibacy thing become
Kick
an
in,
issue?
yeah.
Kick in.
Coming to terms with
It was
it.
never an issue.
Wait, celibacy means you cannot.
Have sex.
Yeah.
Abstain for life.
You don't get married lah.
No, but
I mean,
can
you don't
you
get
as
married.
in-
Huh?
Cannot own
can you
self.
not
Love yourself.
Can you love
That one, all
yourself?
Catholic is a sin, what?
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a sin lah.
Right.
Yeah.
Why is it a sin?
Why is it a sin? How I've come to just saying it's wrong, didn't really make sense for me. Like I said, my conversion, I started to question. Yeah, I said, why? No harm, what, right? And I knew a lot of the worldly arguments, but I think my approach was, okay, why is the church saying this first? Right? And I started to question. And I realized that it's more than just the act in itself. And in a way, how does it harm you, right? In your objectifying of women, and in your allowing that the sexual desire to control you rather than you are in control. I have animal desires. We are biologically animals.
Yeah.
An animal is in heat, it will go and mate. An animal is hungry, it will go and eat. An animal is tired, it will sleep. These are things that we have, these desires that we have. But we are human because we have the ability to be in control of the desires rather than the desires control us.
Right.
So the sexual desire is not bad. If there was no sexual desire, then nobody will procreate,
You're right.
right? The sexual desire is a natural thing, God-given, but to be used for a specific purpose.
So I remember once when I was an altar boy, like a priest told us that masturbation was self-abuse. Because again, with the
Because you're
addiction
beating your
that you get,
meat.
in some sense, but I guess it's like because you become a slave to that addiction almost, right? The endorphins or whatever that get released. And then the only thing that we took away from that, right, was that now when we go for confession, we don't have to say, Father, I masturbated. You can say, Father, I self-abused myself. So then it's like a
Loophole.
loophole when you go for confession.
But we know lah.
Wait, so is that like code word? Like you know that when we say self-abuse?
I mean, people have come out with various various way of
What's the
describing
funniest one that you've heard?
what's the funny confessional still I cannot say.
Maybe too specific already. The person who's watching be like, what the fuck?
Difficult question. So like, you know how like people associate Catholic priests with molesting little boys, right?
Pedophilia.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
It's a sad situation. We were not going to say it never happened or it has happened, right? But of course also it's being blown up to the point of every Catholic priest is like that, you know. But what's the percentage like, right? It was definitely more prevalent in the US. Okay, people would say that the church was trying to hide it, right? So, you know, a complaint was made about this priest, and then what did they do? Or they just moved him to another church, and then it happened again, right? But if you also go and look at it, there were also, at that point of time, right, the parents who bring up the case to the church, and do you want to press charges? Do you want to do anything? And sometimes, for the sake of the church, the parents say, never mind, we don't do anything about it, or we don't want to investigate.
Right.
And so, without an investigation, what do we do? You know, how
Send
do we
him for counselling, then move him to a new community.
Right? And at that point of time also, they thought you go send them for counselling, they can recover, and then they can go back to ministry. So, of course, with the church being what it is and being such a big target, you know, does it mean that it's not happening elsewhere? It is also happening elsewhere, but it just becomes more scandalous in the church, right? So again, we're not saying that it didn't happen. It happened. It is a scandal. It is something that should not have happened, right? But don't stereotype that everyone is like that, right? You know, and that, of course, because the church says that it is wrong and does, then it seems very hypocritical. Whereas another person who does it, but I never say it's wrong, so why you? And it's not scandalous or not newsworthy enough, right? So it is a wound. It's something that we will have to keep. That's why we have put into place, you know, practices and rules of how we interact with children, not just with the priest, but even for the adults catechist, we make sure there are 2 adults in the room. Yeah, and make sure there's the glass window and the door, so there's nothing enclosed. We are putting into these places to putting this safeguards in place.
Interesting.
Right?
That's why catechism rules.
Yeah,
Is yours also?
Mine was way too bad.
that time. I mean, in the US,
So
it
they will
has
classroom.
reached such a state. So when I was there studying, I go to the parish and they're like, okay, I actually had to have a briefing of these practices before I can help out in the church there, and to the point that, you know, when I was in Divine Mercy, after Mass, the children come, I play with them, you know, but there the priest can't even touch the children,
Right.
you know, to safeguard whether any scandals or whatever. But it just became so
Restrictive.
so
Even when he says he
distant.
play with children right now, my mind also immediately think of a joke. It's
He went there. Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Do people bully you for this or not? Or do you get discriminated against in certain ways for being openly like religious?
Is it harder to make friends as a priest, for example?
It's a good line
Harder
of
to
question.
make friends. That's interesting. Ironically, I think the conversations, even with non-Catholics, has been, because they're very curious also about priests, right? There was a period of time when I came back from my studies, then, you know, I didn't have a car, I was taking Grab going around. What I would do is like, okay, God, you know, I don't know what this Grab ride will be, and we let you take control. Of course, usually I either start in
So
church.
Jesus take the wheel.
Yeah.
That's what he's trying to say.
So either I start in church or I end up in church, right?
Yeah.
You know, and so sometimes like I'm coming back from a dinner and it's like, so late the church open. Say, yeah, not really, but I stay there. They look at me, why? I'm a priest, right? And that starts the whole conversation.
No, then with regards to friends, right? So if like you got a damn hot friend, right? Then you want to resist temptation, so you distance yourself from that person.
if I feel that I cannot control, then I better
Has there
distance
ever
lah.
been?
Really?
Has there ever been a person that you feel like maybe I should distance because she be hot?
Yeah.
She be hot
So weird. Yeah.
Maybe God has protected me, or maybe He has lifted the veil of my head, so I just see that everybody is beautiful.
Everybody is shit. You're ugly.
Or like with your other friends, like last time before you were a priest, then maybe like you would have like rowdy nights maybe, or like house parties. Then now like when you meet with them, do you still like have a drink, have a beer?
There's nothing wrong to drink. I don't like beer. I prefer sweet beers, right? So there's nothing wrong with drinking as long as we don't overdrink.
Yeah.
Maybe I just share this story.
Nice.
Confession, but okay, I'm a priest already. It's okay. So before I was a priest, the year before I was a priest, okay, I was attached to a parish, and then I met up with with a group of friends. Okay.
Easy, you scared I know them. There's a good chance because you attached to my parish.
No. It's to protect my friends more than
Okay.
So what is a parish?
a church.
Your church lah,
basically,
basically.
Singapore is divided into different, like GRC lah, different zone.
Oh, okay.
One church covers one area.
Got it.
Yeah. So my friends invited me out. You know, a friend came back from overseas and we haven't met up in a while. And in the past, we used to just go for prata, teh tarik, you know, very clean conversations and clean food. This time around, we went to a restaurant, we had dinner, and after that, they said, hey, let's go for a drink. I was thinking go prata, go teh tarik, right? And then they went to siam tiu.
It's like a stack night for you lah.
So for me, that was like okay. And at first they were joking. It's like, hey, you sure your bishop allow you?
Then you slowly take out the thing.
At that time, I don't wear lah, right? So for me, it was an interesting experience. I said, well, they said, you sure you can be here? I said, well, Jesus, you know, was with the tax collectors, the prostitutes, and the sinners. So I'm here with you guys. This is part of my ministry. The ironic thing was, you know, then they were like, hey, they were the ones saying, hey, don't take photo.
Yeah.
Because they scared their wife or their girlfriend find out. So I was like, okay. You know, I didn't, in all honesty, I didn't do anything. It was a eye-opening thing to see what people are doing.
What goes on.
Right, what's going on. Yeah, but after that, a while, they were like a bit bored. Then they went off somewhere else. And so I said, nah,
Then you stay with the jambu.
no lah.
So yeah.
It wasn't tempting enough.
Well. So many of you, one of me.
What are your thoughts on like LGBTQ plus IA? Well, I don't know what the other letters are. Is it considered a sin to just identify as such, or is it only like if I want to get married, this kind, or if I'm in a relationship? Yeah.
So I think the church separates the person from the act, and it also separates the orientation from the act.
Right.
Okay, what it means that if the person who has a certain orientation, right, whether they act on it. So a lot of people think that the church is just LGBT it's just against, you know.
Yeah, be careful ah.
No, it's okay.
慢走.
The church is against, you know, all these people, right?
Right.
But the fundamental rule that we talk about, first, is not about the LGBT thing, but it's first, what is sex? What is the purpose of sex? And sex, of course, for us, is in relationship with marriage, in relationship with procreation, in relationship with the whole committed relationship, right? And so sex is not just an activity. Sex is not just when we say, oh, I love this person, so I have sex, right? What is the underlying? So any sexual act outside of marriage in the Catholic Church, where it's not free, where it's not fruitful, open to life, you know, and it's not unitive, then it's wrong.
Right.
So premarital sex, extramarital sex, same sex, right?
Non-vaginal sex.
All this, yeah, it is
You are
and
not talking about
contraception,
in front of my
right?
priest, bro.
We did it!
Well, you're plotting this.
So all of this is wrong, right?
Yeah.
I think the only problem is that why it seems like the church is specifically talking about LGBT, because there's nobody trying to say, I think premarital sex should be legal or should be allowed, and
Right,
it's not a
there's no
sin.
activists for
Yeah,
that as well.
correct. There's no activists, so there's the church. I think
Don't get to respond to that
Catholics,
lah.
don't need to respond to it, right? And so for me as a priest, if a person comes up to me in confession and tells me, Father, I'm in a same-sex relationship and I had sex, right? I remind myself that I cannot treat this person any differently from a person who comes and confess, I went to a lapsap bar, I have a mistress, I have an affair.
Right.
Sin is sin.
Are there
Relationship,
grades of sin?
grades of sin?
Are there levels of? I mean, there's cardinal sins. So, for example, is like a person that masturbates every day, assuming that's the only sin they do.
Okay.
Used to be me.
Not after you started drinking green
That was so
tea.
unnecessary and so necessary.
Later we just do confession.
Isn't this a confession?
For all I said just now, I'm sorry.
So let's say this person just masturbates every day, right? But assuming that's the only sin, right? And versus a lesbian couple that their only sin is having girl
Being in
sex,
a
right? Is one sin worse than the other?
The church doesn't classify that way.
Right.
sin is sin.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a political thing, alright? It's a conversational. I mean, there are certain scenes we don't mind having every. I'm not sorry. I'm really doing a disservice
I'm
to
like
the church.
watching you dig the.
You know what I mean? Like, no one's out there fighting for our rights to masturbate. You know what I'm saying?
And so,
Hey, just say it, Daren. I know what you're saying.
No, we know what you're saying.
and so when I asked Pat, right, why did you find why do you want to marry John?
Because you're GCB.
And she says, yeah, he's a good Catholic boy. Then I was like, oh. I said,
Because the priest asked,
in your mind, what is a good Catholic boy? He goes to church every Sunday. I said, okay. What else?
Minimum criteria.
Yeah.
Then he don't like
Hey, you're not even in that criteria again. You're just Catholic
yeah.
boy.
No, I'm curious, what does
she
it
just
feel
understood.
like to wed two people?
to wet.
To wed.
Oh, where?
Like marry to people.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about.
Make them wet. Wet you throw.
To marry two people. As with anybody going for a wedding, how close you are to the couple makes a difference, right? Whether you know the couple well. There are couples which I really never see. I mean,
He
like
outed
3
me on my
times.
wedding sermon about a good Catholic boy, I think. It's busted, sir. I think it's a bit busted.
Then
On
you,
my wedding.
you got feeling or not? Like when you wed them that time, right? You got a feeling that like
Will succeed or will succeed.
Oh.
So you think will work out?
Who, you?
Huh?
You ah.
let's call it now.
What is workout? What do you mean by workout?
You think Pat and I will stay married for the rest of our
the rest
life?
of your life,
Eternity lah, right?
High chance lah.
Nice chance, okay. You cannot lie.
He has to go for confession later.
Like on TV.
Have you intervened?
There have been some which I have suggested.
Not to go
There
ahead.
are. I think, for example, it's like if it's a shotgun
Right.
shotgun marriage, it's like, do you really intend to get married, or because of the pregnancy?
So
that
if they
you
just say
want to get
yes, we love each other, is that good enough for you?
married? I would normally dig a bit deeper lah.
Right.
Yeah, and
Get the tea.
and
Oh, you cannot be priest.
Are we too obsessed with the gossip?
Oh, then what happened? Oh my god, really?
Who else?
You did that!
Does she know?
yeah. So sometimes we just whether it's a maturity, are you really ready? But some of them choose to just carry on.
Wait, sorry, are there certain sins that priests can already forgive?
Okay, generally priests can forgive almost all sins. Okay?
Oh, there are sins that you cannot forgive.
Murder?
We cannot absolve certain sins in the past. So if a person is excommunicated officially,
John Wick.
right? Meaning he
The church
totally
denounces
goes,
him.
totally goes against the teachings of the church, and the church publicly.
Who is such people?
Oh, it's
that
like
we
a
might know of?
blacklist.
How do I know if I'm on it?
You will know if you are.
You won't be allowed to enter.
But so abortion became such a thing where the church says automatically anybody who procures or who has an abortion is excommunicated, and then only the bishop had the authority to absolve. Right? Or the bishop has to, permission has to be gotten.
So are there any crimes that even the bishop or the pope cannot forgive?
No, the person must be repentant. As long as the person is repentant and admits, then the forgiveness.
Anything also can.
It's not
you want to
them
say?
to forgive. They are absolving.
Absolving yourself.
As long as you
Christ is the one who forgives.
As a proxy for.
So if say I kill somebody, right, then I confess, then if you...
Do you need to call police?
Yeah, do you need to report?
I cannot. Okay, there's this thing called
I always
the
thought about this,
confessional seal, which means whatever you confess, the priest can't review.
Oh, it's like the lawyers.
I'm sure the police has some deal with y'all.
It's like lawyer-client privilege.
Yeah.
The police has no deal with y'all that y'all must.
No, this is the church law. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't divulge.
Then what if at the end of the day, they name you as Father Terence? No, I gotta tell him. Then you cannot accomplice or not?
Or what if that...
Or the
that
church protects you?
What if you could have prevented
Wow, so many
another
questions.
crime?
yeah.
What if you could have prevented another crime by reporting it?
Wow.
Wow,
That
that's
is
quite heavy.
the trust that it's not only that I can't do anything about it. You tell me, hey, I'm alcoholic and I want to change. I'm like, okay, you confess that during confession. Let's say we go out and then you buy a beer. I can't say, hey, I thought you don't want. I
Right,
can't
you
use
can't even
what.
bring it up again
I
lah.
can't bring it up
Right.
because that was in.
Wait, but when
To filter the
That's
information.
crazy, yeah.
when
So
the
just stop talking
person
actually.
when the person confesses it to you, right? Do you encourage them to go and turn themselves in?
For me,
I think he never kena before, first of all.
yeah. You know, but
Thank you, Jesus.
No, but I mean, for us, confession is not just I can do all the things I want. Then I just Sunday I just go and confess and okay, you know. Then we call it the Sacrament of Reconciliation, right? So what's reconciliation? I reconcile. I need to be contrite. I need to be repentant. So if I steal $50, right? I stole $50 from John. Then after I go, John, hey, sorry, I stole your $50. John can forgive me, right? But to restore the relationship, I can't say, okay, you forgive me, right? Then the $50 is with me. No, I have to give him back the $50 to say, hey, you know, I'm sorry, and
Right.
And not do it
restore.
again.
Yeah. But not everything is like $50. If John scold me, scold me vulgarity, I say, okay, I scold you vulgarity bit, then fair. No, it's not something to return, right?
It's true.
You know?
For the viewers or
For
to
the
get to heaven.
thumbnail.
Imagine we get the first 3 seconds, he's like, the bishop got what the fuck? Shoutouts to Father Terence.
Hey,
Actually, it's a very
Thank you.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah,
It was an enjoyable experience.
He has the pressure of viewers thinking that he's representing the entire Catholic Church. He has the weight of that.
I told them I was afraid that after this they might get cancelled because they brought a Catholic priest onto the show.
So message us your religious leaders' numbers below. And we'll just,
I think it's great that
I'm curious.
it's a place for dialogue, a place to hear all the different views, not about who's right, who's wrong, and yeah.
If you get fired, then you can join us.
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you watch, remember to drop us a sub and a like, and we'll see you in the next one.
Next
Bye-bye.
one.